Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Karen Sizzle and Spice. I have had such a busy summer so far with some not so good stuff, but more with some great stuff. I hope you guys are having a great summer as well. Today, I'm so happy to be back. We're gonna make pork schnitzel.
Karen, what is a schnitzel?
You know what makes it a schnitzel, Ed? And to all of you, any meat can become a schnitzel. You can use chicken, you can use a cut of beef, you can use pork the way I'm using it today. And a schnitzel definition is when you are gonna make that meat as flat as you can, and you're gonna bread it and fry it. It makes it a schnitzel. So what we're gonna need today for our dish, I'm using two beautiful thick pork chops here, boneless pork chops. We're gonna need a little bit of flour. We'll be using panko breadcrumbs. We're gonna need a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of butter, some salt and pepper. We're gonna need 1 egg when we're dredging the pork. And we're gonna need some smoked paprika. You guys know I love this one. It's one of my favorites. We're gonna use some dill. And this dill is still just a little bit I have left over from last summer's dill that I dried myself. Here's some garlic powder we'll need. We'll need a little bit of chicken broth and a little bit of sour cream. Let's get this one started. The first thing we're gonna do to prepare this pork schnitzel is we're gonna take these beautiful pork chops and we're gonna start cutting off just a little bit of fat around the edges. We prefer no fat on here. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but just get the majority of the fat off. You may have noticed that I have a cutting board on top of a cutting board. The reason I have that is because I'm gonna cut my pork here. I'm gonna split it down the middle. I'm gonna butterfly it. That's what they call it, butterflying. And then I'm gonna transfer it to another board to pound it out, to flatten it. So what I'm gonna do is my knife is very sharp. I just sharpened it. I'm gonna go ahead and go right to the middle of my chop here. And I'm gonna start cutting it. Now make sure you're leaving the knife level. So we're gonna get a nice even cut here. And as you start to cut, you can start to split it with your hands like this. This is a nice sharp knife here. It's almost there. Go a little bit more. We don't want to cut two pieces here. We want to make sure it stays attached. And then we're going to flatten this out. There we go. I'm going to do that with the second pork chop, and then we'll be right back. Friends, now that I have my pork chops butterflied nicely, I've moved them to the counter here, and I'm gonna work on my larger board here now. What I've done is I've taken a piece of saran wrap and put it on my board, and I'm going to move my pork chops over here, one on each side, because we want these a lot thinner for the schnitzel. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take another piece of saran wrap here. So I'm gonna move this guy over a little bit. There we go. Let me grab a towel. I'm just cutting another piece of saran wrap here to put on top of the pork chops. And I'm gonna pound these out with the smooth side of my mallet. You gotta have one of these in your kitchen. Focusing mostly on the center part here. We wanna make sure that these are nice and evenly flattened so that they'll cook evenly. These things are great, you guys. They only take about 4 minutes or so on each side to cook, and they're fantastic. Your family's gonna love these. I know Ed loves it. Okay, let's take a look at this one. I think it's probably good to go. Look how beautiful that is. Nice and thin and even. Look at that. This one's ready to go. I'm gonna throw it over here. I'm gonna flatten the other one, and we'll continue on with the next step. Now that I've got my pork chops nice and thinly cut, I'm gonna set up my breading station here. And this is a pretty basic breading station, whether you're making chicken or pork chops or lots of other things that you fry. even like zucchini or whatever. So in the first plate here, I just got straight flour. And here I have an egg. And in here I have panko breadcrumbs. Panko breadcrumbs are especially delicious and crunchy. And to this egg, I'm just gonna add a little bit of water. And I'm gonna take a fork here and just beat the heck out of it. Now that I have my breading station ready to go, I want to talk to you for just a moment about the pork chop. Sometimes you'll see recipes that say put your salt and your pepper and your paprika or whatever you're going to use right into your flour. I don't like to do that because I'm not going to use all that flour and it's way too thinned out there. So I like to put all the spice on my meats, on my pork chop here directly. So I'm sure to get lots of good spice on here. So I'm putting on some smoked paprika, and the smell, can you smell that, Ed?
Yes, I can.
I love the smell and the taste of smoked paprika. If you haven't tried it, you really should. I thought paprika was paprika, but normal paprika, like I use on top of my deviled eggs and that, it really has no flavor. It's just there kind of for color. This has terrific flavor. So I'm gonna put some salt on these very liberally, and some pepper. Okay, you guys are gonna ask me about this pepper grinder, right? You know, my daughter gave me these as a gift, a salt and a pepper grinder. I love these things. They're battery operated. You don't have to be doing that with the pepper. You just turn it over, a light goes on, and your salt and pepper comes right out, nicely ground. I love the fresh ground pepper and salt. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna turn my chops over, and yes, we need to do both sides. So I'm gonna put some salt on this side, some paprika, some pepper, and these chops are ready for the breading station. Now that my pork chops are beautifully seasoned, we're ready for the breading station. So the first thing I'm gonna do is put this into my flour. Make sure you press it down. You want to make sure these are covered really well. Look how beautiful that is. And then I like to shake them off just a little bit, like that. Put them right into the egg mixture. Beautiful. Right into the panko, like this. And again, press it so that every bit of that pork chop is nice and covered with those panko. Yum, 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 yum. These are gonna be so good. I think Ed's mouth is watering here. You see I have a nice big pan here, and we're gonna be able to fit both of those chops in here. I've melted about a tablespoon or two of butter, and I'm gonna add a little olive oil. That's my favorite mixture for frying most things. And now this is nice and hot. I'm gonna take that beautiful pork chop that I've gotten breaded and beautiful. Look at this thing, Ed, would you? Take a close-up of that baby. Look at that. We're gonna go right over the pan here. Oh yeah, can you hear the sizzle? Mm-hmm. Let's get to the other chop now. Here's our second chop. Right into the flour. Shake it off a little bit. Right into the egg mixture. And then right into that beautiful panko breadcrumbs. Look at that beautifulness. And right into the pan here. Oh yeah, there we go. Woo! Woo, you guys, if you could smell it in here, it smells wonderful. I'm gonna add a little more butter, because you know what? Butter is what makes this brown so beautifully. Friends, it's been 4 minutes on this first side. Look at how gorgeous that is. Just beautiful. 4 minutes on each side is gonna do this great. I'm gonna add a little bit more butter to the pan. I'm sorry guys, but I love the butter, because it's gonna make that second half just as gorgeous as the first. 4 minutes on each side of these, and these things came out gorgeous. Look how beautifully brown they are. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just set these aside in this dish here. Look at how gorgeous those are. And I'm gonna cover them with aluminum foil to keep them warm. And next, I'm gonna make a beautiful sour cream sauce for Ed's schnitzel. Now that those pork schnitzels are cooked, I'm gonna create a decadent gravy in the pan drippings. It's a sour cream sauce. It's gonna be fantastic. This is gonna be for Ed's schnitzel. You won't even believe what I'm gonna top mine with. So friends, I've added 1 tablespoon of more butter to the pan. And now that this is good and hot, ooh yeah, I love the sizzle. I'm gonna add about 3/4 cup of chicken broth. That's about right. And I'm gonna pick up all these little bits from the pan. All that goodness from frying that pork. We're gonna let this come to a boil, and then we're gonna add a couple more ingredients. Now that that broth is simmering away, I'm gonna take a good couple of heaping tablespoons of sour cream. I'm gonna add some salt to that. So I've added about 2 heaping tablespoons of sour cream. I put about a teaspoon of salt in here, and I put about 2 teaspoons of fresh dill in here. This dill was from my garden, but you can put in as much as you like. I love the dill. So I'm just mixing this up a little bit in the bowl here. So that the sour cream doesn't curdle, I'm gonna add a little bit of this hot chicken broth right to my sour cream mixture here. And then I'm going to whisk it like this. And then we're gonna put this right in the pan here. Okay. Yum, yum. Okay. Let's give this a good whisk. And then of course I'll be tasting it to see if we need to add anything else. We want to let this simmer here for a good 5 minutes or so, just so that all the flavors incorporate beautifully. It's time for tasting, you guys. Make sure you always taste to tweak. Make it your own. You know, see if it needs more dill, does it need more salt, whatever. But I'm going to give it a taste and see how it tastes. Whoa. Whoa, that's delicious. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this sauce and I'm just going to pour it right into here. And then Ed can, of course, I'm going to be using this too. Who am I kidding? But I do have another topping. Well, I think I'm going to spill it. I do have another topping for my pork schnitzel, which I think is going to surprise you, but oh my God, I can't wait to eat it. It's going to be so good. Yum, yum, yum. I mean, where's the straw, Ed? We are ready to plate this gorgeousness. This is Ed's here. Look at this gorgeousness. And this sauce, it came out even better than I thought. We're gonna pour a little bit over this. Have you got the whole cup in there, Ed? Look at this beautifulness. Oh yeah, look at that. Beautiful. So did any of you guess what my favorite topping is on top of my schnitzel? It's my favorite topping on a lot of things. Are there any other egg lovers out there like me? The goo of the egg adds such decadence to so many things. So I'm gonna put this right on top of my pork schnitzel. That's right, I am. I'm gonna do it. Take a look at this, guys. Look at that. Talk about decadent. I'm gonna have to take another picture of that. Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful. You can taste now, honey.
All right.
Let's taste this schnitzel and see what you think.
Okay.
I mean, I know I've made it for us before, but it's fantastic. I'm excited. First, I'm gonna take a bite from the corner here. Oh. Oh. I can taste the smoked paprika in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's tender. juicy. This pork schnitzel is fantastic.
It really is.
The panko is so crunchy. Ugh. Just the right amount of salt. I'm gonna be eating this whole thing, but first I'm gonna cut into my egg here, and I'm gonna take another picture that I can add to this video for you guys. I love the goo of the egg. Let's see, I'm gonna cut it right down the middle here. Oh my gosh, look at that egg. I adore this, yes. All right, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope the schnitzel becomes one of your favorites. It's a fantastic meal. Thanks for watching, and happy eating and happy cooking, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. All right. Oh my gosh, this is delicious.
I'm going to try a little bit.
I will. It's fantastic, isn't it? Oh my goodness. This is beautiful. I can't get it into my mouth fast enough.